Bear for Bear Reads Books. Welcome back to my channel. It's great to see you again. Here for a very quick video about the Booker Prize, which has just announced the long list, and here's a very short video about my reaction to that Booker Prize video, as well as a plug for a competition that runs parallel to the Booker Prize, run by the Guardian newspaper, either online or in print, called Not the Booker Prize, and it's been running now for quite a few years. But first of all, the Booker that announced its long list yesterday. It's a great list of books, and I must admit when I first looked at the titles in here, none of them, or very few of them, rang a bell. Like there were no big standouts apart from Hilary Mantel, Bring Out the Bodies. This list really does seem like it was made for Hilary Mantel to win her third Booker with the third book of the Cromwell series. But of the books on the list, I've only read one, and that's Kylie Reid's Such a Fun Age. I haven't read Hilary Mantel because I haven't read any of the Cromwell series, and it was something I was wanting to do this year but still haven't got around to doing. So I've read Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reid. Of the list, I have other books by some of these authors. I have How Much of These Hills Is Gold by C. Pam Zhang. I have that on my list, and that was one of the next couple of books on my list that I was going to be reading, so that's great. I'll definitely get that out of the way. Anne Tyler, I've got her previous book on my shelves, but again, I've never got around to reading it. That was Clock Dance, Clock something. I can't even remember. It's horrible. I am a horrible book reviewer because the Booker Prize list has been announced and I know none of them. But to quickly go through the list, we have Hilary Mantel's The Mirror and the Light, Colin McCann, and I really have trouble pronouncing this. Is it Ape Iragon? I don't even know it. The Shadow King. The Mournful Body, which I do have as well as an ebook. Gabriel Krause's Who They Was, Burnt Sugar, Diane Cook, The New Wilderness, Love and Other Thought Experiments, which I just found out today is available at my library. How Much of These Hills Is Gold, Redhead by the Side of the Road by Anne Tyler, Shuggie Bain, which I also have on ebook by Douglas Stewart, Kylie Reid, Such a Fun Age, Real Life by Brandon Taylor. So they're the 13 books. Is it 13? They're the 13 books that have made the long list. And to be perfectly honest, there are a lot of books here that I simply didn't recognise and I simply hadn't heard of before, hadn't heard of the author. And then when I read into it a little bit, I felt a little bit better because there's a whole bunch of debut authors on this list. I'm not meant to know who they are. Unless I'm a book expert that knows everything about every book that's ever been released in all countries. But here in Australia, there's a whole bunch of these that really have never hit the shelves yet. Some of them are still on pre-order. They're not available in Australia. So there's a whole bunch here also by first release debut authors. There's a really great representation for female authors as well. So I think it's a great list. I don't have much to say about it because I've only read one of the books on the list. And to be perfectly honest, I'm really not expecting Kylie Reid's Such a Fun Age to get probably even as far as the shortlist. It definitely is not a Booker Prize winning book. I'd love to be proven wrong. I still think it was a great book where other people in the BookTube Prize thought it really was a disappointing book. I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was beautifully written and a really engaging, interesting story. I just don't think it's Booker Prize material. I'll give you a report on How Much of These Hills Is Gold once I read it very soon. Other ones that I'll have on my list really quickly is probably The Shadow King and This Mournful Body and Shuggie Bain. So they're the ones that I can grab almost immediately and read, and I'll make my way through those at some time between now and the shortlist. But it really does seem like Hilary Mantel's here. So you've got The Mirror and the Light, book 3 of the Cromwell series. It seems like a list made for Hilary Mantel to take away the prize. We'll see. Last year was a big surprise. Speaking of surprises, I mentioned at the beginning about the parallel prize that The Guardian runs called Not the Booker Prize, which I think is a fantastic idea. You've got a couple of days to still submit your vote. It's a public vote to get onto the mega long list. So the way in which this Not the Booker Prize runs is read through the terms and conditions. There are certain conditions about when they were published and where they were published. But essentially you pick your best book in the last 12 months or in 2019, whatever you felt, any book at all, any genre, and you nominate that book. And from that mega long list, from all of those public votes, a group of judges reduces that mega long list down to a shorter list, and then it gets into regular prize territory. Like it goes from a mega long list to a long list to a short list, and then to the finalist. The difference being that when it gets to short list, it's a people's vote, so you get to vote again. So once you may have nominated a book that you loved in 2019, and then when it gets to the shortlist, you get to vote again. The controversy from 2019 was by far and away there was a winning book for the people's vote. The people spoke very loud and clear about what the book was that should have won. And then the judges went against the public vote and gave the prize to another book that they thought was more deserving. So controversy. I love that sort of stuff in book prizes. That's just fantastic. So we have these two book prizes running concurrently, and you really should check out both. They're a great balance to each other. The Booker, of course, is just renowned but can be a bit pretentious and wanky. But if you really want to see what the public is reading and to gauge all around the world what people think is important works of literature and fiction and non-fiction, you should check out the Not the Booker Prize. And I'll put links to Not the Booker Prize down below. You have until close of business on the 1st of August to cast your vote for Not the Booker Prize, and you should do that and then follow along and see what the rest of the world thinks about the books of 2019. Very different results to the Booker Prize, I can absolutely guarantee. That's it. Not many early predictions from me about the Booker Prize, considering I hadn't heard of a lot of them and haven't read almost none of them apart from one. So I hope you have wonderful Booker Prize reading. I'm going to get stuck into it right now, starting with How Much of These Hills is Gold, which sounds fantastic. Enjoy your day, everyone, wherever you may be, and I'll talk to you again soon. Thanks. Bye.